Tommy and I was going out from work with the other staff members, and it was a really bad night. It had been snow and it was icy, and Tommy, just as he was walking across the road, slipped, banged the front of his face here and knocked himself out. He had an ambulance, we had called an ambulance because he wasn't conscious. He did come round, he came round for the ambulance driver, and he was taken to Wiston Hospital. About an hour and a half later, Tommy started being sick, slurring his words, and then went unconscious again. And his sister went and got one of the doctors, who then they whisked him through to resource and realised he'd had a massive brain injury. It was an extradural haematoma. They contacted the Walton Centre. The Walton Centre said, got an ambulance for Tommy. We took him to the Walton Centre and they operated that night. The next day the consultant came to us, told us that the operation itself had been a success, but it was still touch and go. They could tell us medically what had happened and what could happen, but they couldn't tell us how Tommy was going to progress in the future, or did he have a future even, which at that time it was a nightmare time for the family because we just didn't know what to expect. Tommy came into the rehab unit, so has actually spent near 3 years of his life either in hospital or in Vancouver House or Oakvale before going home. Unfortunately, Tommy didn't come back home to mine because it wasn't safe enough for Tommy to come. So between his social worker, community OTs and the team here, they got Tommy a bungalow. So Tommy actually lives in a bungalow with support, which is something that we never ever thought. We never ever thought we'd be bringing him home. We thought he'd end up in a nursing home. So for him to be discharged from here to go to a place of his own is absolutely amazing. I don't think Tommy would have had much of a life without the rehab staff. From his speech, he can talk now, can't you?
Yes.
He can, when he first started speaking, he could hardly speak at all. Now, when he's at home, you don't really shut up, do you?
No.
From point of view of just doing simple little tasks like being able to feed himself, to being able to chew. Tommy couldn't chew, he had no swallow because he had a tracheostomy in for such a long time. All the muscles and everything in his throat had gone, so he couldn't chew. He could before he came here, he couldn't do anything for himself. And it's only since he's been here that they've retaught him to speak, which is a massive thing because Tommy's daughter got married last year, and he done a speech, which was absolutely fantastic. It was only short, but he did do it. And then on his mobility and other parts of his body, Tommy's gone from being basically a head in the bed to he can now walk with a Zimmer and take a couple of steps with people supporting him either side. So we're just going to carry on with that. And they've also given Tommy back his confidence, his sense of humour. They've all worked with him, from everyone from the top, from the managers to the receptionists to the physios, OTs, the support staff. Every one of them have played their part in Tommy's rehab. And without them, Tommy had been in a nursing home and we wouldn't have a life together. And I personally feel that every person should be given the opportunity that Tommy's had. Because if he hadn't got it and it hadn't been a pilot scheme, where would he be? In a nursing home somewhere. I didn't want Tommy to be in a nursing home. I wanted him home in my house, but unfortunately that didn't happen. This is the next best thing. When Tommy can walk and when Tommy can go from a wheelchair to a stair lift, Tommy's coming back home to my house. And that's our overall aim, isn't it? For you to come back home.